Hi guys, Helen the Russian here. Let me adjust that screen a bit. There we go. Right, so positive outcome with the follow-up regarding the abusive passenger I had on Lyft. I've reached out to the man who is in charge of Lyft in Las Vegas. His name is Jakub Girma. Now, I'm hoping I'm not screwing up his name. It is spelled with Y, so I'm saying Jakub, but quite possibly it's Jacob. Sorry, don't know. My apologies in advance if I mispronounced that. I've reached out to him on LinkedIn, where I have profile for my main business, not for the rideshare, but for my main business. And he did take very active steps to investigate, and he got back to me and he informed me that my original complaint to the critical support, which I mentioned in another video, actually was acted on and the passenger was suspended. That was his wording. Now, and he said that they notified me. I actually did not receive that notification. However, after he said that, actually he written that to me, so I have it in writing and it's in his own words, and he was very specific about the passenger being suspended. I looked through my junk mail and there was a lot of it. I gotta say, I had this email account, my business account, for nearly 2 decades, which means there is a lot of junk that I never get to see because it goes to junk file and I delete it without looking. And in fact, there was a response from Lyft, which I missed. It took them just over a week after I lodged the complaint to get back to me, but they haven't. Give me 1 minute. I'll actually read it to you because I think it's all important. When I got the last communication from Mr. Girma here, who is in charge of Lyft in Las Vegas, it sounded a bit terse. Although, it's all good. I understand why he would be a bit annoyed, but he said, well, there was no need to contact me or post the video and this and that. Well, like I said, I did not see the follow-up, but now that let me have a look. Where was it? Okay. So, here's what they had to say, and I'm gonna quote, hello, I'm following up on the incident that you reported regarding your passenger Matt. I'm so sorry to hear about Matt's behavior. This sort of behavior by a passenger is a violation of our terms of service and is something we absolutely do not tolerate in the Lyft community. If you feel unsafe due to passenger's behavior, please know that you have our full support should you choose to end the ride in a safe location and ask the passenger to exit your vehicle. I'm going to touch up on that a bit later. You all know where I'm going with this. I can assure you that that the concerns you have brought to our attention have been investigated, and I have followed up with this passenger to take the appropriate and necessary actions. That's the language. I want to thank you again for alerting us for this kind of behavior from passenger. Safety is paramount to everything that we do here at Lyft, and we are constantly working to foster a safe, respectful, and conscientious community. Your feedback is one of the best tools we have to continue to improve the Lyft platform. If you have any additional questions or concerns, please do not hesitate. The person's name was Mel. Okay, so, well, A, like I said, I haven't seen that because it went to a junk folder, but B, let us pay attention to the language. He said he followed up with the passenger to take the appropriate and necessary action, which honestly, to all of us, it sounds like a lip service. It could mean a million different things. It doesn't mean anything. So, in the past, and let me put a basis under what I'm saying here. I've mentioned in previous videos, but now I have nearly 100 videos, so there is no reason for you to look through them. I cannot brief you in the whole reason why I decided to take an issue with this particular one and see it to the very end. When I first started driving for rideshare, it was only Lyft. I only drove for Lyft, and virtually the first week I was inexperienced rideshare person, not an experienced driver. Obviously, I've driven for 30 years, but I had no experience with rideshare apart from taking Uber literally maybe half a dozen times in New Zealand, no more than that. So I didn't know anything about driving for rideshare. And it was nerve-wracking a bit, as I mentioned before. But here's the thing. The first week, I got this incident. I got a request for a ride at the Green Valley Ranch district, at the district. And when I got there, the person, before I even got there, I got it and I was already sitting on the light. I was actually moving towards the freeway before I got that ride request. I was sitting on the light, red light, and so I was just waiting to turn into the district. And as I was sitting in there, less than a minute after I accepted that ride request, I got this text from the passenger going, it wasn't not a nice text. It was, she used a lot of foul language. Where the F are you? We've been waiting here for a long time and whatnot. And I'm thinking, I don't know why you were. It wasn't me. So I turned into that main thoroughfare, into the district, and that's where the pin was. And I get to the pin, she's not there, no one's there, and as you're well aware, it's only one lane each way. You can't just stand in there. So I thought, okay. So I moved towards the hotel casino, and I called her, and she didn't answer the phone. And so I sat there for another 3 minutes. The time ran out, and that was it. I put her as a no-show, and I went offline because I already decided that I'm gonna quit for that day, and so I went offline. Well, imagine my surprise when in the next 15 minutes I got repeat phone calls. Well, there were messages recorded, but my phone kept ringing. The phone would ring, I would answer, and you know how the voice goes. This is the call from your passenger or whatever. And she would be swearing and yelling and hollering at me using all F-bombs, C-bombs, I mean, you name it. And I was offline. I did not know how to stop this. I didn't realize they can blow up your phone like that once you've gone offline. And it kind of shook me up. It was a bit of a shocker. And so when I contacted Lyft about that, their response was, oh, hey, sorry that happened. We won't pair you with this passenger again, which, I will not see that passenger again. The chances are like next to zero, right? So I kind of thought, well, that wasn't particularly great, but okay. And then since then, I had another couple of incidents within a month. Same nature, passenger being abused. I know all of you drivers who are watching, it happens to you all the time. It's not any kind of news. And it doesn't happen every single day, but it is a regular occurrence. It really is. And nothing really, I felt after that first response that we have no recourse, that, they tell us, oh yeah, well, we won't pair you with that. And then I listen, that's when I started listening to other YouTube channels of other drivers, and they saying the same thing. Like, for instance, Drive Girl Drive from California, that really cool chick that has a really big channel. She was talking about, she was talking about the scariest ride she had. Pretty much same response she got. That was Uber ride, but doesn't matter. Same thing. Oh, we won't pair you with that passenger again, which is just not good enough. And so this is actually the reason I got the dash cam in the car. I didn't have a dash cam to start with, but when I saw that keeps on happening, I thought, you know what? I need to put a dash cam on. I mean, I have a dual lens, so it films in the cabin and up front in case of an accident or whatever happening. But yeah, I definitely wanted the dual lens. I wanted the happenings inside the car being recorded as well. That's the whole reason I did it. Anyhow, so that kind of gives you an idea of why I even went in. I kind of felt that despite all the lip service we're getting, no one really cares and no one wants to do anything about it. So when this happened with Matt, I was absolutely determined that I'm going to see it through the end. I'm going to at least try to do something. So as you all remember, I made a video and I did say I'm not going to post the video because Lyft assured me they're going to take action and I believe they're going to do the right thing. Well, I posted the video 2 weeks later because I never heard from them. And that's why I posted the video. And then I forwarded the link to Mr. Girma because I just wanted something to be done. Now that he assured me specifically in that language that the passenger was suspended, in fact, I took the video down, true to my word, because it wasn't some kind of retaliation. That's not why I posted the video. It wasn't a clickbait. As you can see, I have, nearly 100 videos now. In fact, it is 100, and not one of them of the passengers. I might talk about certain things, but I do not post videos of the passengers. There was a specific reason I posted this one. And so now that I think the result is a good result for the driver community. Yes, our concerns are taken seriously. Yes, the passenger was suspended. However, and I did mention that in my final reply to Mr. Girma, I would like to see more proactive action taken, as in both platforms, Lyft and Uber, should take more proactive steps to educate the passenger as to, they have terms and conditions, but well, no one reads that. Passenger needs to understand that this might very well be a result if they abuse their privileges, if they mistreat the driver, if they attempt to actively break the law, which is bringing alcohol containers in the car. And oftentimes, they don't mean it maliciously, but they just push the boundaries because they think they can. Happened to me just yesterday. Was picking up these people at the Venetian, and it took them a bit to get there. I actually waited over 5 minutes for them, but they said they were coming and it was all cool. So every one of them apart, there were 4 people, 3 of them had nearly full cups of alcohol. They did. And so when I told them they can't get in, they go, can we drink it really fast? I said, by all means. You can do that, you can dump it, you can leave it. It's not coming in the car, in the cup. So as the guy who didn't have a drink, he sat on the front seat with me. And I said, hey, what state are you from? Do you guys not have the open container law? And he goes, Wisconsin. I go, and at first he goes, no. I guess maybe he didn't understand the question. And then I go, oh, so you can just guzzle your alcohol in the car? He goes, oh, no, we can't. I go, oh, so you do have that law? And he goes, yes. See what I mean? They have the law where they live. They're well aware of the law. They just try to blatantly push the boundaries. And it'll be done if their driver loses their license, if the driver gets DUI on their record. They just don't care. Now, mind, these particular people, these passengers, they were cool. We ended up having a really fantastic ride. It was all good. But what I'm saying, even good people, nice people, would try to push it. More education should be done. In my opinion, those platforms need to come up with the pop-up window because obviously GPS detects you as to where your location is. The minute it says you're trying to order a ride in Las Vegas, there should be pop-up window stating really clearly NRS, whatever number, no open alcohol containers in the car, and then enforcing the notion that designated drop-off and pick-up areas in the hotels are very strictly enforced, and they are to proceed to the designated area. It's not that hard. It's not that big of a deal for a good programmer to add that. I mean, in fact, they're adding those updates all the time, so the system is already in place. So anyhow, that's where we're at. I also want to extend a special thanks to Uberman, Randy the Uberman, his huge channel, because I've reached out to several people who have fairly large channels that have to do with rideshare, asking to share the video of Matt the Abusive Passenger. And granted, some of them they may not have seen it because I put it in the comments of their videos, but Randy jumped right on it. He goes, hey, no, that's not acceptable. I'm going to share it on every platform I have, including my Twitter, Facebook, and every channel I got. So, and then I'm thinking it's not in a small, probably the large part of the result we achieved was because of Randy. So Randy, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. And I'm sure you know why I took the video down, because we achieved the desired result. And I was asked specifically by Mr. Girma to please, nicely, I was not ordered to, I was nicely asked to please take it down. So here you go, good result. And let us drivers, seriously, as a community, we need to stick together. We need to educate the public. Do not be shy. Certainly, well, I don't even think it's rude to simply calmly point out what the laws are. People need to know. And if more drivers bring that up and enforce it, the more passengers would understand they cannot get away with it. And the less we're going to have comments where like, oh, well, every other driver let me do it. They let me bring my beer, my whatever in the car. No, the answer is no. And granted, passengers might be lying, but I believe there might be drivers who just kind of letting it slide. It's a bad deal for everyone. All right? Now, everybody, have a fantastic day. Go make some money. Have a nice one.